Marty, how did morning routine or the lean culture save our ass this week? It definitely did last week.
Last week, yeah, we had a snowpocalypse.
Was it like the biggest snow event since 2009?
Something like that, yeah, like 20 years or something.
And we're not just talking about the weather. We are in real estate, and snow and cold can really screw properties over. So what happened interesting that we didn't expect?
So at our hotel, we got a message that said half the rooms were without power. And I believe half of those had no heat. And I believe the temperatures were -10, something like that.
Yeah, it was like -10, -14, and then there was -20 with wind chill.
Wind chill, yeah. Yeah, so it was pretty drastic situation.
And that property is actually under construction, and we just currently, I'm probably about $75,000 into it right now.
Yeah.
So it's all torn apart.
We didn't know if that was the issue or if it was just, something else. Like we had heat, but then we didn't. So it was a big mad scramble there for a little bit.
So what about the morning routine and lean, our culture, that has nothing to do with business, that people never tend to place a value on? What happened that kind of resolved that issue?
Well, I think one thing to talk about first is our company. While we're in real estate, we have people who are responsible for lawns. We have maintenance people. We have people who run our hotel. We have people who work our hotel. And, we have our trusted contractors that we use, that sort of stuff.
Right. Systems and processes. We use vendors. We're under the lean way, so we don't default to the cheapest, though we get good deals.
Right.
But usually the best service for our vendors.
Yep. And so we had the manager of the hotel reach out to me, and she could not get out of her driveway. And so she couldn't check out the hotel.
She's 45 minutes away.
Yep.
As also.
Yeah. And so as I was trying to kind of wrap my head around there, the lean process, all of us meeting together every day, we all have sort of a sense of, one team, one fight.
What is the morning routine for people who have never heard of it before?
Every day, everybody who works for the company logs into a meeting. We each take turns running the meeting, showing things like how we're fixing processes, how we're cleaning up our area, sort of a camaraderie check between everybody, talk about what we're grateful for, that sort of thing. So it really does a good job of giving us an idea as a team. No matter what our responsibilities are, we all sort of have this sense of responsibility to the company.
So you're having the mowing guy run the meeting.
Yeah.
And share his improvements.
Right.
Doesn't that just waste everybody else in the company's time because they don't mow?
Well, no, because then they're starting to see, the improvement that he made. Oh, he did this to the lawnmower. Well, maybe I can do this to the printer. Or maybe I can do this to my car when he did that to his truck. They start thinking about how the examples that he's showing pertain to them in their work areas.
How often do we do this?
Every day.
All right, so now we do it every day, including the shitstorm that happened.
Yeah.
So how did that actually impact the day?
So once the hotel manager was reaching out to me saying, hey, we got this issue, as I'm starting to kind of get my head wrapped around there, the lawn mowing guy was already on scene trying to reset breakers, seeing if he could figure out what it was. He got out in the elements on a day that, nobody was working and was out there trying to help the hotel get back on track, get our customers the heat and the electricity they need.
And they basically shut down the whole state of Missouri.
Yeah.
Almost for like 2 days. Our area was definitely shut down for 2, maybe 3 days. What was our involvement in that?
I don't think you had any involvement in it. The only involvement I had was our normal contractors couldn't get out of their driveways. And so I had a few in my back pocket that we had used for other things or projects that I had used. And so I had our VAs reach out to them and we found somebody who could come out. But their issue was they needed a check. They would not come out unless they were paid for the job on site. And the checks were with our hotel manager 45 minutes away. And so once that issue got brought up, the maintenance guy who had a 4x4 truck was already en route to go get the check to then drive 45 minutes in the snowstorm to the hotel so that way he could get the contractor paid.
And we weren't involved in that basically at all. It just independently happened because we have a daily routine, daily meeting.
Everybody saw a problem and everybody did what they could to help fix that problem.
Period. That's very rare for most companies.
Right.
That the maintenance guy and normally a lot of those people, their spirit's been broken or they're a warm body filling a role. And in our situation, that wasn't the case. It was, hey, that everyone jumped on it. Often when a lot of people jump on them, they usually make a big mess of things too, right? Everyone wants to help suddenly.
Right.
That didn't happen here.
No, everybody kind of knew their exact role and how they could help, and they each stepped in and did it without asking, without us even needing to be, having to tell them. They were all on it and they were all doing what they could to help.
Quick pause with the video. By the way, if you like what you're hearing, we have more information in a free Facebook group below and totally free tools. If you go check out the description, hughcarnahan.com/resources on more resources on how to make money in your business and make money investing. Back to the video. So probably saved doing rooms. There were like, 7 or 8? Well, 50% was down, and we had paying customers in there.
Yeah.
So that was a safety issue.
Right.
So those were all addressed.
Right.
And then I think we got all but 2 rooms operational.
Yeah. We were able to kind of maneuver. The electrician came out, got the issue fixed for the most part. And then for what he wasn't able to fix, we were able to move customers into different rooms. The on-site people, the maintenance guy and the lawn mowing guy was helping customers move into different rooms. And so they had that issue fixed within a couple of hours.
And we basically still weren't involved at all. So all of this happened, the team solved the problem, and I think it's because every single day our teams film the problem and then share it with the team and then communicate it every day.
And then I'm seeing other people, how they're solving their problems. So then I start to think, oh, that's how I can solve my problem that I'm having, the same sort of way that they were doing it. And then it also just, again, camaraderie. Everybody kind of gets a sense of, we all want to do well for the company, talking about revenue, how much we're making, how much vacancy we have. And so everybody's on the same board of getting the customers happy, getting people in our rooms, getting people in our long-term rentals. And so if everybody has that same sort of goal in mind, then they all stepped up into their responsibilities and was able to do it.
That is a really big point where every day we're practicing critical thinking skills. And because we require before and after videos of problems. And we practice that every day for everybody in the company. And then we share it and talk about it every day. So when the real emergency popped up, I think the team just jumped on it. Like, I didn't know about it till 3 days later. And I don't think you were involved too terribly much at all.
No, it was all just, for my situational awareness. Yeah.
10 minutes, 5 minutes?
Yeah, maybe.
Of value add time. And the rest of the time you were doing our day job.
Right.
Which, that's a pretty serious thing. That could have been a $100,000, $200,000 issue. If we had a pipe burst, in certain places, it could have flooded things. It could have done all kinds of damage of rooms that were done, and the team just jumped on it.
Right. And, even more issues, we could have just lost the customer for the day, right? And then that also would get us bad reviews on Google as we're trying to turn this whole thing around, and we're starting to come out of the darkness into that and get it back into a successful thing. Getting those negative Google reviews could have just put us back all the hard work that we've done so far.
Yeah. So I think that's a massive win. And then it directly goes to the savings. I think it's just the fact that you're practicing critical thinking skills. Then there's another side of it. At our company, we do a really good job, I think, it could be wrong, but really good job of making sure that everybody has decent balance and isn't ran to the red line, just constantly being pegged to the red line, where when shit hits the fan and they're like, hey, we need everybody to step up because of an emergency, everyone does that. I think most people want to do that in most companies, but the culture doesn't allow it, or they're burnt out. They've been at the red line. Their whole job is them teetering on the edge. And then when shit hits the fan, they're like, all right, I'm done. Screw it. No one appreciates anything I do anyways. So I feel like that's a big difference too. That's the camaraderie side.
Yeah, the culture that the meetings have done. We get brand new people that will do the meeting, never done it before, and they'll struggle through it. And we're all supportive. We all help each other. Like, oh, this is how you put a video in. This is how you do that. This is how you do that. And so then when the time came, nobody thought, well, I have to be micromanaged. I have to be told what to do. Right? They all just were able to kind of step up and be like, oh, okay, this is what I need to do, and they just did it without being asked.
Right. Yeah. That was the craziest thing is they're very, very high level critical decisions that generally most companies would throw in the towel. We'll escalate this up so it's not my problem. Independently, through coordinating multiple companies, they solved the problem with a lot of issues.
Yeah, it saved us money for sure, saved us losing customers, saved our brand, did all that minimal involvement for me and none for me.
I didn't even know until after everything was already solved, and it was a big deal. So, that's pretty much anything else. A lot of people have a hard time putting the emphasis on culture, but all we do every day, we'll let people go because they're not a good cultural fit. Or if they're going to, make a pivot or something like that, and, they start dragging everything down. We'll give them chances. We'll try to rehab everybody. But really, it's that culture allows us to do our job right.
Yeah. Hire the right people. We'll train for the specific task. Hire the right person, and then the company's better off of that.
And if you don't do that, it's not undoable. Almost every company, exactly the opposite of what we're doing. But usually you're going to have 4 or 5 super stressed out people that are losing their mind. Wife hates them and their kids never see them and they miss every ballerina show and softball game, specifically because people are burnt out. And this is a really good way to show that. This is one of the I was very impressed with the team.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it happened.
Right. Yeah. It was awesome to see that they just all stepped up and knew exactly what to do and how to do it and how to help in their specific spot. So.
If someone's interested in finding out more about how to do that, what are some resources they could go to?
Well, I mean, they could go, YouTube. We have a YouTube channel where we're posting things. Paul Akers, the lean guy, has got a YouTube channel reading the Paul Akers book. That was eye-opening for me when I came on.
2 Second Lean.
Yeah, 2 Second Lean. And anybody's welcome to tag along and drop in on our meetings and see how we work it.
Yeah, reach out. There'll be links somewhere. But I guess, again, everyone saved everyone else's ass and just got out of their comfort zone and really took care of the problem, and then was noticed and recognized and everything for it. And they did it all without micromanagement and also not really needing to be managed at all, because every day, it was basically like a normal day for them.
Right. Yep.
The problem changed, but their job is to solve problems. Their job isn't to do their job. That's the byproduct of them doing their job, which is making improvements and solving problems. So, pretty crazy stuff. Thanks so much for sticking around to watch. Please help us by watching this next video.